Going to Chico this week, and obviously Chico, a rival, they came over here. You guys had your meet, and just kind of what do you expect over there this weekend?
We expect good weather. It's about 75 degrees, kind of like it was in Turlock. It was great conditions. A little warm for our distance runners, but yeah, there should be. I think Oregon Tech is going to come down, maybe Southern Oregon, and so we'll have some good regional track teams that'll be there, and then we'll have some JCs come up there too to sprinkle in some good competition. So yeah, looking for some good weather. Just looking to post some really good marks and continue to establish those good marks so we can get into those larger meets in April. But the team's doing really well. Just keep the injuries going. Fred Rosher's made some good progress from his light injury that he had. We're being more precautionary than anything, but we'll bring him back probably second half of this month, and we're going to rest some of our tracksters that were racing the 2 weeks prior, just to kind of give them a week off. But we're still going to take about 40 athletes over there, and it should be a pretty good competition.
What do you feel like some of the events that you guys should be able to do well in Chico?
You know, the sprints still look good. I know that Sarah's going to run a 4x4 team on both genders, and that should be good because Chico has a real good team, so we can continue to mark up against them and just see how we compare to everybody else in the conference. But and we see Chico quite a bit, so it's nice. It's nice running with them. We saw them last week in Turlock. They came over the week before to Humboldt invite. We're going to their place, so you know, it's just good competing with them. They got a great squad, and so do we. So it's good head-to-head competition, and yeah, we'll just keep it going.
What schools will be at Chico, and what would be the best events that will challenge you in?
Again, Oregon Tech and Southern Oregon should be there, as well as Butte College, Chico State, and I'm not sure. I didn't look at all the entries, but I know for sure those schools should be there. And then again, we're not going to run any long distance races except for the middle distance people will run. We're going to do 800, 1500, but we ran some 5Ks last week, so we'll give those athletes a break, or we're going to shift them downwards to the 15-8 just to kind of get a good workout and get some good speed underneath their belt. But ultimately, our throwers should have a pretty good day. They have some nice facilities there for our throwers, good weather, so hopefully we hit some good marks there, and that's kind of what we're expecting.
And at the Kim Deist, had a lot of good schools there that you competed against. Did it really give you a measuring mark of where the rest of the country is and where you guys are, and give you something to build off of?
Yeah. It's there's definitely a good competition level there. That meet has really grown over the last 5 years since we started going to it, and I think there's 800 plus athletes there. So it does give you that good competitive edge, and it does give you good enough marks to get you in the top spots in the country, or at least top 20 to see where you're at. But it's kind of nice because everything's electronic now, so you can definitely see what people are doing across the country immediately and see exactly where you rank. So it's when you have a nice event like the Kim Deist Invite, you can compete in that arena, get some great marks with some great weather, and then see how you stack up against national competition. So.
Now, you talked about last week how you had some of your track and field athletes running events they wouldn't normally run, like Elizabeth Harris, 400-meter hurdles, but she ran 400 meter.
Yeah.
Is there going to be any change like that for this weekend? Or you talked about kind of taking some, probably Corey Gilly and Tatiana Gillick will run less distance this weekend, correct?
Yeah.
Is that kind of the plan you have?
Yeah, we basically have track meets every single weekend between now and the end of May if you make it to nationals. And so we kind of try to shift things around a little bit. And you just can't have them run a 5,000 meter or an open 400 meter every single weekend unless you're really trying to qualify for something and get that mark towards the end of the season. So we shift them around and do some off distances for them, and then lo and behold, you'll get some surprises. So here's a good example with Tatiana Gillick, is that she is a quote-unquote long-distance runner. She likes the 5K and 10K approach. Well, we put her in the 15.8 just to shake things up, and she's 0.4 of a second off of qualifying for nationals on a provisional mark. That surprised us, but all that hard work that she's done, and same with Elizabeth, all that training they've done over the winter is paid off now. They got this great base phase that they can run a range of different races. You can run Elizabeth from the 200 up to probably the 800 meter, and she'd do good in everything. So we will off distance them or put them in off events, every other week, or just depends on what our master schedule looks like. There's certain races on the schedule that we're trying to really peak at in order for them to have top-notch competition and get great marks. But on the off weeks, we want to continue to work them out, but we're going to put them in some different distances so that they can try to just do something a little bit different and doesn't get mundane and just gets boring. So
One more question for you, and that's, you were talking about this, your throwers having some potential success this weekend. Viet and Maximilian had good weekends last week at Kim Deist. Do you expect them to kind of continue that trend? Are there any other throwers that maybe I didn't mention in those two that had good weekends that you're kind of expecting to break through here at Chico?
yeah, I think Max and Viet will have probably better weekends this weekend. Viet was a little bit sick. He had a touch of the flu driving down on Friday, and he performed pretty well, despite that. So now that he's feeling a little bit better, we're hoping that he'll bounce back and throw a little bit better at Chico. Not that he threw bad, but he'll just improve. But it's kind of nice because even though Kate Earl is a heptathlete, she could throw the shot pretty good. So she had a pretty good mark. And same with Tegan Eiler, who's a decathlete. He had a pretty good shot mark. It's a PR for him, and he got third in the high jump. Right. And here's a guy that does 10 events very well. So what you're going to see is a continuance of these athletes surprise us every single weekend, just with different things that they're doing, and just to get them lined up. But we are, who knows where it's going to come from? You just don't know. You have 23 events, and we got 40 to 60 athletes that are competing at general times of the year, and you're going to get a bunch of surprises. But so far they've been really good surprises. So I'm really just proud of the team. I'm proud of my coaches. I think the main thing right now in March is to stay healthy, stay away from injuries, keep their focus. We got spring break next week, so we're trying to keep everything, relative to what's going on. Have a good weekend this weekend, and then make sure they stick around, the campus for a few days at least, and then we come back to San Francisco or Sacramento. We'll have a split squad that weekend going to Hornet Invite, and just to keep them healthy, keep them focused, and that's all we're really going to count up. And then really the things will get even better in April. I mean, when I say the things, I should say the track events will even the meets will get a little bit more competitive, and it's just going to hopefully continue to grow and get good marks and break some more records for the school.